A few weeks ago, I attended a protest outside Birkenhead Library. The people gathered there were cross-community and cross-party, but we had one commonality: peace for Palestine. Peace, peace, peace. Palestinian refugee children spoke so movingly for peace in their homeland. They, like all Palestinian refugees, have no right to return to the land of their birth under Israeli law. Large corporations across the world make hundreds of millions of pounds in profit from their misery. Desmond Tutu once said, "If you're neutral in a situation of injustice, you have chosen the side of the oppressor." That is why I'm here today. The people of Palestine have been living under occupation and denied their human rights for more than 50 years. 1.9 million Palestinians are cut off from the outside world by a blockade of Gaza. And 4 million live under an Israeli occupation that continues to build illegal settlements that segregates them behind a wall. There are many companies that are profiting from this illegal breach of human rights. Does the Merseyside Pensions Fund invest in any such companies? And if so, how much does it invest?
Thanks for that, Ruth. If you wouldn't just mind turning your microphone off. Lovely. Thank you for your question, a very important question, and I'm sure everybody would deplore the effects of the Israel and Palestinian conflict. I've got an oral answer for you, but you will receive this in writing as well subsequently, okay? So the fund takes its responsibilities as an asset owner seriously, and human rights are a fundamental element of those responsibilities. Our policy of responsible investment reflects the view that environmental, social and corporate governance, or ESG factors, can materially affect investment performance. Accordingly, we take ESG issues seriously and place importance on active ownership in managing and shaping ESG matters. We principally do this through collaborative working, whether that is with other local government pension schemes through the Local Authority Pension Fund Forum, or LAP, or with our northern local government pension scheme partner funds, which are Greater Manchester and West Yorkshire. We also appoint a third party, which is currently pensions and investment research consultants, who assist us in fulfilling our fiduciary responsibility as a long-term investor. Where we become aware that companies may be involved in breaches of international law or complicit in human rights abuses, we seek to engage with companies in order to gather information and evidence. Our objective is to see that companies are acting in accordance with their responsibilities to respect human rights as detailed by the United Nations Guiding Principles on Business and Human Rights. In relation to your question, we are advised that the fund is invested in some companies featuring in a database created by the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights of business enterprises involved with or operating in the occupied territories. Those companies are Alstom Europe, Bank Hapoalim, Booking Holdings Incorporated, Expedia Group Incorporated, General Mills Incorporated, the Mizrahi Tefahot Bank Limited, and Motorola Solutions Incorporated. And our total investments across those 7 companies is currently valued at £2.74 million. In the main, these are large international companies with wide-ranging interests. Consistent with our policy, we are engaging with them to understand how they are addressing the reputational implications of their activities. Useful further understanding and context of the issues has been gained. LAF has also met with the UN Special Rapporteur to discuss the companies linked to the occupied territories. The advice received remains that we need to give the engagement process time, but that we also give companies a clear sense of human rights expectations and why they are considered to fall short. Recently, LAP sent clear messages to the boards of 2 of our invested companies, advising its members to vote against the re-election of certain directors for their inadequate responses thus far to investor engagement on this issue. Through the Northern Local Government Pension Scheme, we have asked our advisors to review our responsible investment policy and enhance it in the areas of climate change and human rights. And I would specifically refer you to page 116 of the public reports pack this evening, which details the minutes of the last Northern LGPS meeting, where I specifically raised our engagement with the Palestinian Solidarity Campaign and asked for our policy on human rights to be enhanced. That's referenced in the minutes on that page. So our advisors will be reporting back to the July meeting of the Northern LGPS, and the responsible investment policy will be brought to this committee for review as soon as possible, but no later than our November committee. So I trust this provides you with the assurance that this matter is treated seriously by the fund. And I would ask you, Ruth, do you have any supplementary question on the basis of what you've heard?
Does the Pensions Committee agree with me that it's a priority to investigate the issue and consider special proposals at its next meeting to divest pension funds from companies assisting in the violation of Palestinian human rights?
Okay, thanks for that. Well, we do take human rights seriously, as I have outlined, particularly in cases where companies are operating in conflict areas. Our policy, as I've stated, is under review, but I would advise that that policy has to operate within the legal framework that is set down by government. As I've also said, the policy will return to the committee no later than November, and at that stage it's up to this committee to discuss, debate and review that policy and satisfy itself that the policy is robust enough to deal with the issues that you have raised this evening. So thanks very much for that, Ruth. Thanks again for your question.